Hey folks, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and we've got my second video since I got back, well, other than the unboxing one. Today we're doing this and announcing the Patreon winners at the end of July, actually the end of June, so that would be the July winner, and the end of July, the August winner, so because I do it at the beginning of the following month. My Patreon supporters, their names get put into a draw at the end of every month. And I've got 32 Patreon supporters, so they get a good odds of winning a knife. Because I reviewed very little knives in June and none in July, I've found out who the winners are. I got the list of the 32 subscribers, sponsors, and then I went to Google random number generator, clicked it to randomly generate a number between 1 and 32 inclusive, and up came number 29. And the winner is from Germany, Nicholas S. And I've already emailed him. And I clicked the button again, and 17 was the winner. And the name is John R. from Maryland in the United States of America. I've emailed him as well. And what I'm going to do this time for Nicholas, if he likes one of the knives I reviewed in June, which was very few, he can have that one. Or, tell me. For both of them, since I did none in July, for both these guys, I asked them to tell me what kind of knives they like, and I'll give them selections out of that, or I'll surprise them, depending on what they want. I like to be generous to my Patreon supporters because you guys are generous to me. And so, congratulations, Nicholas and John. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting Canadian Cutting Edge. And if you want to become a sponsor, a Patreon supporter of Canadian Cutting Edge, for $2 US a month or more, you can also have your name put into a draw at the beginning of every following month, and you could win a knife. And thank you for working with me. It really helps me out. I ship basically the lowest cost shipping to anywhere. If you need tracking and insurance and stuff like that, I ask the winner to help me out with a little bit of funding that. Otherwise, like for Germany, I could spend almost all the money that I get in from my Patreon supporters just to pay for shipping the prize out. So a little bit of give and take, although you guys are already giving a whole lot, and I thank you so much for that. I like to absorb the vast majority of the cost and get these prizes to you guys. But today we're doing a review on this. I worked out a neck knife series of videos in 2019, and I didn't get them all done before my summer break. I've still got a few more. This one is by KIZER. This is a Crocotool. They've got a variety of Crocotools, actually. And they're designed by, and I'm going to get the name wrong all the time, Evgeny Polikin. Sorry, Evgeny. I found Evgeny online, and there's an Evgeny who's an artist who does like cartoon-style art drawings and stuff. Really good stuff, too. I wonder if it's the same guy. I've tried to contact him to find out. But the Crocotool, this one's by KIZER. It's a multi-tool neck knife type of tool. Kind of interesting. If you're interested in something with S35VN stainless steel, which is a high-end premium steel, and yet it's a small little easy to carry around tool with loads of features, then stick around. We're going to put this on the tabletop and take a good close look at it. Keep watching. So what do we have here? Well, I put on the paracord here. Wow, off the top of my head, I forget if it comes with a chain or not. Because I've had this for over 2 months, 3 months, over 3 months now, so I forget all the details. I'll look it up and put a picture of everything that comes with it when you buy it. But the two main things are this piece of Kydex and this piece of S35VN steel. And the way it works is it slides into the sheath like this, and it just clicks in, and that holds it. If I pull straight back, it's not coming out until I pull quite hard. So it seems to lock in very simply, but it locks in securely. The bottle opener works with the sheath on, so you can just grab your drink and it opens up just fine. Very good. I don't have any bottles of drinks right now to use this with, but I did test it out and it works great. because it actually comes down to a small spot right there. If we can get it to focus when I come closer. Okay, so there you go. You can see it comes down to a small spot at the tip, and then it grabs onto bottles very, very well. So it's fully functional as a bottle opener. I'm sure you're not going to buy this just for the bottle opener. But you also have a wire stripper over here. You've got nut drivers, 6mm, 7mm, 8mm, and 10mm nut driver. And you've got a pry tool or a flat driver right there too. And the pry tool part is something that I really, really like on this, because people tend to use blades to do prying. So if you've got this with you, that pries very, very well and very easily. And then you also have a can opener. So if you take it out of the sheath, now you've got an edge here that comes to a point. That point isn't super sharp. You're not going to cut yourself by just touching it, but that's also able to be used as a can opener. It takes a bit of work and it takes a bit of getting used to. That's an old skill that a lot of people don't have anymore, to use this kind of can opener. So bottle opener, can opener, wire stripper, nut driver, flat driver, pry tool, and then we've got a cutting edge. We've got a sharpener's choil right in here, and a nice chisel grind sharpening job, and then an extra bevel right there, and then it's totally flat on the back. So if we can get this to, well, we're going to try to get some closer pictures, closer up here, get it to focus. There you go. So that's the back of the tool there, flat. There's your chisel grind and stone wash. You can see KIZER CPM S35VN printed on there. And a little sharpener's choil. So it's easy to sharpen this knife. You just clamp on to right here if you've got a guided sharpening system that clamps on. And, you know, it's easy to use the rest of it. So take it off. Pinch up here. I was doing that. I was pinching right in that space here and holding it to do a bunch of cutting. That worked very well. I tried cutting back here, holding it like that. I was even holding it like this, and I was doing some scraping upside down. So there's a number of different ways to use this blade, and being S35VN steel, it's quite sharp. So from here on in, I've covered everything else. I'm going to talk basically just about the blade. Let's pull this down to be a sign that I'm doing the measurements now. I'll put the sheath out of the way. And so there we go. The cutting edge is 4.71 centimeters long. That's 1.86 inches. Blade length, I just measured it from, you know, behind here where my fingernail is to the tip. So that 2 inches, 5.2 centimeters. The blade thickness, the steel is 3.19 millimeters thick, which is 0.1255 inches. So basically, it's fairly close to 1/8 of an inch. The blade depth, that's of this dimension here, 2.34 centimeters, which is 0.92 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, that's not an actual measurement I can take on this since it's a basic chisel grind kind of style. So I didn't, but yeah, it's got a good edge. The chisel grind angle is at about 35 degrees right here. So I think that's a little bit too, so if this is the blade here, it's flat on this side, and you know, it comes on about 35 degree angle this way. Most knives are 20-20, which equals 40. So that's still not a bad angle, but I think since it's S35VN, when I go to sharpen this, I'm going to sharpen it to about 30 degrees on this side. And that's going to help the edge be even that much more precise. I might even do it at 25. I don't think I'll go finer than 25 degree angle right there. And I think the steel S35VN can handle that, no problem. Now, is there a handle length? Well, I'm wondering, do I measure the handle length, just this part that's sticking out when it's in the sheath? Do I measure the handle length from here? So it's kind of fudgy how you would measure the handle length. So this isn't all black and white. I'm saying 6.4 centimeters, 2.5 inches, and that's basically this dimension here. The total length, and that's without the sheath, is 10.97 centimeters, so basically 11 centimeters, 4.32 inches. And, you know, it's a comfortable kind of knife. The grip area, I don't know, the same as the handle length, 6.4 centimeters, 2.5 inches, something like that. It's really hard to say with any kind of precision. It depends on how you're going to hold it and stuff. How sharp was this edge from the factory? Not sharp enough. I got 180 on my sharpness test. I was hoping for more, but anything under 200 is considered sharp. So 180 is not bad at all, although I wanted more. It weighs 24 grams, which is 0.8 ounces. When you add in the sheath, it's 30 grams, which is 1.1 ounces, but you probably have to add your cordage, whatever kind that you use. So it's still super, super light, just over an ounce with the sheath and the steel together. How much does this thing cost? Well, this thing is actually not that bad, especially for S35VN stainless steel. $27.95 at White Mountain Knives. If you use my coupon code CCE for Canadian Cutting Edge, you get 10% off of that. So take off another roughly $3. So around $25 US for this. Amazon has it for $29.50. So I've got links down below for both those sources to get it. The features, what's good about this knife, what's not so good. I don't think I'd ever use the wire stripper feature on this. I just don't know if I would ever use that. I think I'd probably use the can opener before I'd use the wire stripper. But, it's potential that you could need it. The pry tool, I carried it several days. The pry tool come in quite handy. The cutting edge is nice. There's a tip right here that's very strong because of the way it's designed. So it's not going to break easily, so I could dig into little things. The bottle opener came in handy. The nut drivers, I didn't use those yet, but I found a use for them, and I made sure I used it just to see how well it would catch. And although I don't have video of it, it drives those size nuts quite well, especially if you make sure you leave the sheath on, and then you've got, good grip, no sharp things to hold on to, and you can just drive some nuts. So it's quite well made. Lots of features, small and light, premium steel. The sheath works well. You could put it in a pocket and just let it sit in your pocket if you want to. It might start digging using the thin tip here by the pry tool, and it might dig into your jeans and slowly wear them out and things, but not that bad. And like I said, it even has a sharpener's choil, which is kind of nice, so you can sharpen up to the end easily without messing up that transition spot at the end of the blade. What are the cons? If my hands were larger, I'd start to not like this. So my hands are just between large and extra large, between 10 and 11 in European sizes. If I had larger hands, I'd find this thing to be a little bit tricky to handle. If I had smaller hands, it's very easy to handle. My wife liked it, easy to use, comfortable, and feel safe. So basically, that's the nutshell of this thing. I like this by KIZER, and Evgeny did a great design. He's got some other Crocotools that you can check out. And I'll put links for all that stuff down below in the description area. If you're watching on a cell phone, you click down below this corner. There's a little triangle thing or something down there to expand it. And if you're on a computer watching this in a browser, down below the video, there's some text and it says show more. You click on those words show more. They're all in capitals, and it expands that section. If you're not used to that, go ahead and find that now, because most video makers have stuff in that description section that is cool information. You've got my address in there. You've got my, if you want to become a Patreon supporter, that link is in there. My Instagram link is in there. My Facebook information, all that information is down in that description. It's easy to get at. I like using paracord for this, very comfortable. I don't like just tying it off like this. I usually have breakaways that I put on them so that after too much pressure, it just breaks away. It's just the way I prefer to carry it and use it. So I like this quite a lot, and it's a good multi-tool that's easy to carry in multiple ways. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, when I say guys, I'm being gender neutral. Until next time, remember, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye now.